You grew up being told you were smart, not just in a casual way, in a way that quietly shaped your identity. You picked things up fast. You understood before others did. You saw patterns early. And somewhere along the line, intelligence became part of how you survived the world. That's why this hurts more than you admit. Because your life doesn't look like the life a smart person is supposed to have. Too many resets, too many pivots, too many things you almost became. It's not that you failed loudly. It's that you faded out quietly again and again. You look around and see people who aren't as sharp, not as self-aware, not as thoughtful, and they're still moving, still building, still in the game. And you're left asking a question that gnaws at you late at night. If I'm so smart, why can't I stay? Your mind moves fast. It doesn't wait for experience. It predicts. It simulates. You think about starting something, and instantly your brain runs the entire movie, the struggle, the plateau, the failure, the disappointment. And here's the trap. While others are still learning through action, you're already exhausted from anticipation. You haven't lifted the weight yet, but you've already imagined how heavy it will be forever. Every mistake feels loaded. Not just a misstep, a signal, evidence, data about who you are and what you're capable of. You don't experience friction as part of growth. You experience it as information about whether you belong. So when something starts to look inefficient, messy, or beneath your standards, you exit. Calmly, logically, with a clean explanation. You tell yourself you're being selective. But the truth is harsher. You're protecting your identity from being challenged. Average people have a freedom you've never had. They're allowed to be bad, allowed to struggle, allowed to repeat themselves without questioning their worth. They don't need every step to feel meaningful or intelligent. They don't overinterpret resistance. Awkwardness doesn't mean this isn't for me. Slow progress doesn't mean I chose wrong. It just means this is how it goes. You, on the other hand, read meaning into everything. A slow start feels like a verdict. A mistake feels like exposure. A lack of momentum feels like proof that you miscalculated again. So you pivot, you optimize, you restart. And each reset feels productive, like you're being smart about it. Until you realize you've been circling the same point for years, never staying long enough for anything to compound. It's not that average people want more. It's that they don't abandon themselves the moment things stop making sense. Here's the part no one tells you. Smart people hate looking stupid on a deep, internal level. Competence isn't just a skill for you, it's armor. It's how you earn safety, respect, and control. And growth requires the opposite. It requires visible incompetence, repetition without reward, long stretches where effort doesn't translate into validation. It demands that you stay while your intelligence no longer protects you. That's unbearable if being the smart one is how you know who you are. So you leave early, before the struggle gets ugly, before the process reshapes you. You don't fail, you withdraw while your self-image is still intact. And here's the brutal realization. Quitting early feels like control, but it's actually fear disguised as intelligence. Everything changes the moment you see this clearly. You realize intelligence was never meant to replace endurance. It was meant to support it. Thinking was never supposed to save you from discomfort, only to help you navigate it. You stop trying to look smart. You stop needing every move to make sense up front. You let yourself be bad. You let yourself repeat. You let yourself stay, even when your brain screams that you should already be better by now. And something flips. Your intelligence stops talking you out of action and starts refining it after you move. You think less before you start, and more after you've lived it. You don't become less intelligent. You become less fragile. The people who make it aren't the smartest in the room. They're the ones who stayed long enough for the process to scar them, stretch them, and slowly reshape them into someone more capable than they were at the start. They didn't abandon thinking. They abandoned thinking as an escape. And when you do that, something settles inside you. Less noise, less second-guessing, more presence, more follow-through. You stop asking whether this is the smartest possible move and start asking whether you're willing to stay. That's when intelligence finally works for you instead of against you. Not as a shield, not as an excuse, but as a tool sharpened by patience. And from that place, you don't just start things anymore. You finish. Not because you're smarter than everyone else, but because you finally stopped letting your mind talk you out of your own life.